Yesterday, your Minnesota Vikings made a huge splash in the coaching market, landing Brian Flores as their new defensive coordinator. And I understand he may be getting a head coaching job next offseason. He interviewed for the Cardinals head coaching job this offseason. He was previously the head coach for 3 seasons with the Dolphins, and he's going to be a guy who is highly in demand. Do not care. He's highly respected, highly regarded, and he's going to come in. He's going to change the culture of this defense. He's going to make it more aggressive, get after it on that side of the ball, and he's going to do a fantastic job. So he's going to get a head coaching job, and hats off to him, but he's going to shock things up and really change things on the Vikings defense. And that's what matters to me, and that's what should matter to you, because think about how good the offense was last year. If the Vikings defense was just average or consistently getting after the quarterback, I understand that it really was masked by a bunch of late game takeaways, but you can't rely on that. Just consistent pressure, consistent aggression, and also your cornerbacks getting up in the face of receivers and challenging them as opposed to 8-9 yards off the ball. That's what we need. That's what Brian Flores is going to bring to the table, man. So let's talk about Brian Flores today. Background: 41 years young, played college ball at Boston College. It looks like he could still play. Like, he certainly could give the Vikings, 300, 400 snaps. We'll go for there. But then he actually got his start in the scouting department with the Patriots in 2004 before becoming a special teams assistant in 2008. Now, in 2008, the New England Patriots selected some San Diego State quarterback, 6'5" dreamboat. Now, I wonder what he's going to do with his future. Who knew, man? But eventually, Flores worked his way up to be a linebackers coach and then called defensive plays for the Patriots, defensive coordinator in everything but title in 2018 after Patricia got the Lions head coaching job. And Flores was the architect of this defense. This defense, shutting down the high-flying Sean McVay, Jared Goff offense in the Super Bowl, which, do you guys remember the Super Bowl at all? Super Bowl 53? It was where Edelman had that crazy catch. It was Super Bowl MVP. I barely recall this Super Bowl, and I am football. It's kind of crazy, man. But phenomenal defensive game plan by Brian Flores. It propelled him to get the Dolphins job in 2019. And after a sort of whatever season, tough transition year in 2019, where they went 5-11, Flores put together a 10-win season in 2020, as well as went 9-8 in 2021. So fantastic leadership, a great turnaround, and the first back-to-back winning seasons for the Dolphins since 2003. So they've had a tough go of it, and Brian Flores certainly was not the problem in Miami, but of course, Dolphins ownership is toxic, and then eventually they moved on to Mike McDaniel, and it just sort of is what it is. But Flores certainly was not the issue, and especially the defensive players with the Dolphins, they all went to bat for Flores, they all rave about him, they all celebrate him, so yeah, I think that he clearly was building something special in Miami and sort of got the rug pulled out from underneath him. But, spent 2022 with the Steelers and Mike Tomlin coaching the linebackers as well as being assistant head coach. And, defensive ranks for Flores as a head coach or play caller, obviously fantastic. His final year in New England. And then he took just one of the worst defenses in the league in 2019. And he really did not inherit much from the Adam Gase era, but they built him back up. 2020 was a high point of the Dolphins' defense. They still got after it in 2021. So that's what he's facing here in Minnesota, where you had the 31st ranked defense. The defense is really going to be stripped down. A lot of young players are going to be taking roles of veterans who are going to be let go due to contract situations, and that has to excite Brian Flores, where it's like, hey, you can walk in, blank canvas, and you have all these young, hungry, fast, aggressive players, and just get after it, man. And also a couple traits from Flores, Kevin Seifert, ESPN, who's not Carl Gersschmidt, to give you some detail on how Brian Flores landed his defense as head coach of the Dolphins from 2019-2021. Fourth highest blitz rate, 35.6%. Sixth highest rate of man-to-man, 51.5% per ESPN stats and info. So everything that Vikings fans were imploring Ed Donatell to change on the defense last year. Play more press man as opposed to the soft zone. Cover 3, cover 4, Marshmallow 8-9 yards off of the receiver. Blitz more. If you can't get home with 4, send some more. Sun Tzu. And also creative blitz packages, zone blitzing, bringing DBs, just really getting after it, and also disguising your freaking coverages. Why do you think Daniel Jones carve things up, because he knew exactly what look he was going to get. There wasn't anything creative at all when the Vikings were taking the field, and that's exactly what Brian Flores is going to do. He's going to flip the script, man. And then Matt Anderson. Brian Flores blitz rate by season with the Dolphins, 2019, 11th in the league, second in the league. So he's going to bring the heat, man. And our guy Thor Nystrom pointing out Minnesota is really about to go from one of the most passive defenses we've ever seen to one of the most blitz happy in the entire NFL, and I'm here for it. And it's really going to be big time news for guys like Harrison Smith if he's back, guys like Brian Asamoah, guys like Zadarius Smith. So now it's likely that the Vikings are going to stick with the 3-4, so Z-Man could be back. Danielle Hunter, hopefully Flores carves out a more apt role for Daniil in his new scheme, and guys like Cameron Bynum too. I think Cam Beasley's versatility is being woefully underutilized. I think that they could use Bynum like the way that the Flores has used Eric Rowe in New England and Miami. So I'm here for it, man. I think this was an absolutely amazing hire by the Vikings. I think this is a great opportunity for Flores to take one of the worst defenses in the league, completely rebuild it, revamp it, and turn this into just an absolute tier 1 carnivorous meat-eating defense. And I'm fired up, man. Absolutely fantastic home run hire. And hopefully this does propel Flores to a head coaching job in 2024, because I think that he's a true leader of men. I think that he is a very deserving candidate, and he's a guy who's learned from Belichick. He's learned from Mike Tomlin. He's learned from the best, and he's proven that he is that dude. Like, he is a guy, and he is just going to really change things for the defense of the Vikings. I can't wait. Can't wait, man. But your thoughts are thoughts. Getting to know new Vikings defense coordinator Brian Flores. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skol, production value.